One of the main issues of the current economic times we're living right now with inflation is the fact that everything is high. That's even the definition of inflation. Everything is expensive, from food to gas to everything else. So $100 that you used to have last year at the same time this year is probably worth 92 to 91%, dollars. Why? Because the difference, those 8 to 9 dollars, is your 8 to 9% inflation. So if you are willing to buy the same stuff that you need to buy, that you used to buy last year with the same amount of money, you can't. Your buying power is decreasing because inflation is eating out your dollars. So in order to keep ahead of inflation, you need to find ways in order to make sure that your money will gain value, not lose value. Otherwise, you're getting backwards. And that is not what you want, because building wealth is actually making sure that your assets are growing, that your money is doing the best of what it's supposed to do. So one of the best ways to do that is, actually we have two. Either you invest in a business, in real estate, in stock market, in cryptocurrencies, but you have to invest your money, because by investing, the return on investment will grow a lot faster to give you that hedge on top of inflation. Like if I invest in something and I have a 10, 12, 15, 20% return, in reality, what we call the real return is 20% minus whatever inflation is. And right now, inflation is around 8 to 9%. So you kind of see that it's a lot. It's a lot. So if you don't want to invest because maybe you don't have time, maybe because it's too costly, maybe because you are a little bit afraid, maybe because you're not comfortable with where the current market, whether it's real estate, stock, or crypto, are currently sitting at, well, I have a good news for you, because the alternative will be what we call I-Series savings bond. All right? Because when you, ideally, this same time 2 years ago, what I did was my emergency fund, so my six months emergency fund, which now has bumped to 12 months emergency fund. I will keep that in a high savings account. And I used to go to Capital One and ALI, because back then they were paying, I think ALI was among the top, and they were paying 2.8%, and Capital One was not far, paying maybe 2.6 or 2.75% annual return. All right, so that was how high things were back then. But now savings rates are as low as 0.1% for those making an effort. So your regular bank, like your Chase, Bank of America, whatever, they will pay you even less than 0.1%, like 0.01%. All right. So it means if you have $100,000 that you keep in the bank, at the end of the year, you will have $10 that you gain on 100K. That's insane. That is insane. So I'm going to bring to you what I consider this to be a very good alternative in savings. It's kind of this hybrid way. If you don't want to take as much risk in the market, because as I mentioned earlier, maybe you are uncomfortable with the volatility, and you are not sure about, maybe investing that into, the real estate market. There are many ways to do that. So, it's kind of like putting your money into the bank, but getting the exact same return as inflation. Let me explain. An I-Series bond, all right? An I-Series bond is a bond, so you are lending money to the government. That's the definition of a bond. And then in return, until you are holding, for the period of time you are holding that paper, that bond, because it used to be, a paper, you will get an interest on that money you lended to the government through, Treasury. So right now, the I-Series bond will pay you whatever inflation rates are. And right now it's around 8 to 9%. And so let me backtrack. Initially, they will pay you the difference between inflation and the real rate of return. So real rate now are close to 0%. So the difference with inflation, it's whatever inflation is. So you're getting right now 8 to 9% return on your money, and your money is guaranteed to come back to you whenever you are redeeming that bond, meaning you are kind of selling the bond, so you're cashing in that bond. And the good thing is the minimum period to hold that is just 1 year. It's 1 year only. So your money is guaranteed, your return is guaranteed, and the only penalty is, well, if you are not holding it for 1 year, that's impossible. You have to hold it for even for 1 year minimum. Even if you die, your money will not get out. That's the maybe the only thing. But that's also the definition of savings. You're saving some money that you don't need now. That's the definition of savings, right? So how do you get that? Well, you go through a website named Treasury Direct. I'm going to share my screen right now. And this is it, Treasury Direct. So it's a federal government website. You can see here, on the address bar, treasurydirect.gov. This is a bond for individual people like you and I, to actually invest or save into those bonds. So they are actually, tied to inflation. That's where, the I comes from. So right now they are paying the initial rate on series bonds. It's 9.62%. 9.62%. You can buy I bonds and at the rate through October 2022. So you can buy. So if you want to buy, just click here. Boom, buy. And when you want to cash in the money after at least 1 year, you click here on redeem. And that is as simple as it is. If you want to get more, and another good thing about it, guys, it is not taxable. So whatever money, whatever income you're getting out of this is tax free. So you don't have to pay income tax on this. So even good. And maybe the not so good thing on this is the fact that, well, it's only capped to $10,000 per person. So you can only put $10,000 per person, and I think it's per year maybe, into this. So if you are willing to put a lot more, well, you need maybe you, your wife, or maybe your kids, but I'm not even sure, maybe if you have a trust, but you and your wife can put 10,000 each, or maybe you and a friend or somebody else can put 10,000 each, and that's how you will be able to benefit from this 9.62% return or interest on your money. Because right now, as I mentioned, the bank savings are just ridiculous. So let me know in the comment section if it's something you will be inclined to do. Definitely for me, the answer is yes, because I can't allow my money to sit there just doing nothing. Simple.